Says I'm in there. All right. Oh, that's not working well. We're going to do this a different way. I was trying to do this in such a way that clearly wasn't working. All right. Can you hear me now? Did you hear me before? I don't know. Oh, great. What the hell? I shouldn't still be in it. I'm so confused. All right. Hello, Jeff. Good morning. So you didn't hear me before. Okay. I was trying to do something a certain way, and apparently it was not working. I greeted you and everything, so. Oh, man. I gotta make me some coffee. So I fed the rats this morning, gave them more water because overnight they did eat the rest of their food and drink almost all of their water in both of their bottles. So gave them fresh water, a bowl of food. They're all happy again. Um, yeah. Aussie Fish Adventures, hello, how are you? How you doing? Yes, it is late for you. I'm gonna plug in my earphones because I know it cuts down on. Supposedly, but now I can't get up and. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing all right. Um, I need my coffee. Is what I need. And I was kind of torn this morning because I noticed that Nike's live, Faux Chicken is live, and I want to be where everybody is. I do. Actually, I'm gonna pull. I muted. I got myself muted when I pulled out my headphones. The Red Sox won, did they? I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling, Aussie. Now, one day at a time, one day at a time. been bouncing around. Yeah, that's about the only way to do it, I guess. Yeah, I'll have to bounce. I'll have to bounce around. That's what I'll have to do. But give me a second to get some coffee on, guys. I gotta brew it still. All right, coffee is being brewed. It's cold there. It's really hot here. It's been 90 plus, like mid 90s Fahrenheit. Yes, you can always put clothes on when you're cold. You can layer, but you can only take so much off before it's indecent. I always say that. That's why I would rather, I grew up in Canada and we had cold winters, and there were people who were like, I don't want to deal with your winters. And I'm like, we dress for it. We don't go, around here, if it's too hot, you don't go outside. Around there, if it's too cold, you don't go outside. But if you do, you dress for it and you don't stay out forever. But there's only so much you can do when it's too hot. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I like summer, but I don't like the extreme heat and humidity. When I lived in Canada, it was not that bad. Yes, we had really cold winters, but the summers were perfect. Perfect. Very rarely way too hot to be out there. Good morning, Dirty Laundry. How are you? Yeah, I hear that. My coffee is still brewing. I need my coffee. I need to move my large male bristle nose, but he fights my orange spot bristle nose, and I'll never see him again if I put him in the big tank. Oh no! So what are we gonna do about that? Gotta move him because he fights with the other one, but if you put him in the big one, he'll just disappear. Our Oscar is not gonna be in this tank by weekend. He is going to work with me or with my husband, going to where I work and going into the tank there. And hopefully someone else will get him. My husband is sick of him. He doesn't want him anymore. He was separated a while ago because of the fighting. Now he's in a tank with three tiny ones. Need to shut down the tank to make maintenance and raise here. I might have to fight it and release in the big. Oh, yeah. Choices, choices. More work or lose him in the. Aw, decisions, decisions. Oh my goodness, I'm yawning a lot. This weekend is tank cleaning weekend, and we were gonna get rid of Oscar like last week, or the week before, but he wanted to wait. He cleans the tank every other weekend, and he had just cleaned it and then was like, uh, work told me that we could, that they'll take him in. And he said, well, now I want to wait until I have to clean the tank again because he doesn't want the Oscar to stir up everything after he just cleaned it. Oh no, Zach, how come? What happened? What is your um, little turd turkey doing now? I assume it's the most aggressive one. Not many set up for, but it does take a lot out of me. Sounds like, yeah, I hear you because we have 5 tanks. Our biggest is a 75. Our smallest is a 2, and I have found that the smaller tanks tend to need more maintenance. Um, the bigger the tank, the less it needs to be cleaned, because there's more space for waste and stuff like that. Um, the 3 smaller tanks, I have a 2, a 5.5, and a 10. Um, those are my responsibility, and I hate doing them. I hate doing them. My husband does the 75 and the 55 every other week. I also have a 20 that I'm looking to put some things in too, but I'm probably going to regret it because I'm going to hate having to do even, uh, another water change. But I keep wanting to put something in it. I mean, I've been wanting to put something in it that's not aquatic, but then at the same time, I still want to put something aquatic in there. So I'm back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But I'm supposed to be getting a snail, a large snail from MSA. Um, so I'll probably put something in there with the snail in the 20. So yeah, Zach, your very aggressive turkey, your most aggressive turkey is getting aggressive with all the other ones. Little boob. He must be the he's established himself as the dominant of the group, and they have to fall in line. What? Oh my gosh, Aussie, that's crazy. Wow. Ooh yeah. Rabbit is making noise. I think one of their water dishes is empty. He's throwing it around a bit. I'll have to give them some water. Yeah, sounds like a person that, when they're bigger than everybody else, they think that they can rule. They rule the roost.
I was at a low point and it couldn't have come at a better time in life. I call it my lifesaver, rainbow rare. Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's that. Wow, I don't even have words. I wish something like that would happen to me. Money's kind of tight around here. As much as I like my job at the pet store too, I think after my vacation I'm going to see about something different because where my daughter works, she's making a lot more money than me. Because at the pet store I'm only making like 8.50 an hour. Um, my daughter, it's a factory job, but she's making 14 an hour, and she's working third shift. And I'm like, you know what? As much as I like working at the pet store, I gotta do what's best for us. And you know, right now I never have any spending money because my entire paycheck from the pet store goes toward bills to help out. My husband makes good money, but um, he needed help, so that's why I'm working. But I don't get any spending money because my entire paycheck goes to bills to help out. If I got this other job that's $14 an hour, the money could go towards helping with the bills and I'd have spending money. We'd have money to spare, you know. So I feel like that's what I got to do because it's really frustrating to never have any money to spend because it's all gone to bills. And with the animals that we have, I was like, I'm sorry to tell you, but the rabbits need more hay. The dogs need flea meds. We got rabies shots due. He's like getting really like, oh my gosh. So um, I think I just really need to make the switch. And I feel bad because I really pushed for this job. I really wanted this pet store job, but it's just not cutting it. So yeah, it's just not cutting it. And even it once the summer's over, I'll get more hours, but I'm still only making 8.50 an hour. So it's a lot more. It's going to be a lot more work with the same pay. So I don't know. Because right now I'm doing closing shifts, which is easier than the morning shifts. The morning shifts are a lot busier. Um, so you're working harder and the pay is the same, and it's just like, ugh. Yeah, nothing wrong with doing, other things on your channel. I mean, I am passionate for pets, and a lot of my stuff is pet related or whatever. But at the same time, I've done other things. I did a game. I do devotions. Like, it's your channel. Do what you want with it. Mix it up a little, but your main focus could still be your fish. I have a feeling after my vacation, I'm probably going to. I'm at least going to apply and see. Um, I don't want to do it before I go on vacation because I don't want to be like, hey, by the way, I'm taking a week and a half off. So, yeah. But after we get back, I'll probably apply and see what happens and then just tell them, I need to, I love this job, I love the people here, but I have to leave, you know. My little Lily guinea pig, she hasn't squeaked this morning because she's not here. She's with a coworker. I took her to work yesterday. I had the day off, but my coworker was working. So, oh, I've got a funny bead on my diamond painting. It's upside down. I'll have to fix that. It looks funny. Um, but she's apparently doing really well at his house. Um, she wasn't sure of his guinea pigs at first, and when he put his two in the playpen with her, she was nipping at their noses when they were trying to sniff her. But then he said they just let loose talking after that. She just, I guess she realized, hey, these two are okay, and they were just squeaking at each other and talking and talking. And I think she's going to be a lot happier because she's not alone now. So if I take the other job, I'll be working third shift. So I can always get home from work because Stacy's working third shift and she works 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So when I get home, I can do my live stream and then get off and go to bed, get some sleep. I could spend the evening with my husband when he's in town. Um, I don't have to worry about when I'm working during the day so that I could go and pick up Ian or whatever. Um, and then I just have to be back at work again at 11 p.m. So, your goldfish. That's what I think I want to put in my tank, my 20. I want to put a couple of you know, different goldfish, like the ones that, because I used to have a lion head in there. I used to have a lion head and a blackmore. I wouldn't mind doing that again. Although the snail is going to be in there, but at the same time, Vanessa said, like MSA, she doesn't have any heaters in any of her tanks, and all of the fish do well. I was shocked. Like some of them are ones that you always hear they need heaters. They need heaters, especially to breed. But she's got fry from her fish and no heaters. Um, but I'm wondering about putting a couple of goldfish in that tank with the snail, or or put guppies in with the snail. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. I'd much rather do the cold water fish so that I don't have to run a heater because then that's more electricity. But I'd have to see how the snail would react to that. Um, because I don't know. I asked her, are your snails active? Because when I had mystery snails, um, unless the temperature was close to 90 degrees, they were really inactive. When I got a heater that I can actually adjust the temperature, and make it a little higher, they were all over the place. So I'm kind of surprised that hers are active when there's no heater. But or I'll put the snail in with one of the other. Although the problem is that my tanks are smaller. The other, I wanted to put, if I was going to get goldfish, they would go in the 20 because they get so big. Um, and that's where I was going to put the snail, unless I put the snail in one of the other tanks, but those are smaller tanks. Decisions, decisions, decisions. And I don't want to get yet another tank. Yeah, goldfish are dirty fish, but at the same time, they're They're cute. I loved when I had my lion head. I loved he was little. He was pretty little when I got him, and I loved how he wiggled when he swam. I loved it. Yeah, most likely adapted. So maybe it'll work. Maybe if I got a couple of goldfish in there and put the snail in there, maybe it would be all right. I could test it out, and if it's not, I'll move it and see what happens. I'll just see what happens. For that matter, hey, I could put the big snail in that big tank that the camera's on, because the Oscar won't be there, and the snail will be big enough that the fish won't be able to eat it, because they're big snails. If worse comes to worse, that's where it'll go. I will make it work somehow. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna go get my coffee. Be right back. Coffee. So many people. What is floating in my coffee? Better be a coffee ground and not some sort of a bug. Well, now I don't see it. Did I get it out? Nope, there it is. What are you and why are you in my coffee? Out, out, out. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was a coffee grind. I have a feeling it was a bug. But it's out now. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get poisoned, but all right, good night, Aussie. Have a great night, and I will talk with you later. Lisa, hello, how are you? Drinking my coffee. Why does everybody want to be off? All the fish want to be off camera today. I'm doing all right. I feel like I'm gonna move the camera to something that wants to be on camera. I like it when the camera's on the rats, personally. There is Oscar. Looks like he's got something on him. You really gonna get sick right before you go to the pet store? Really? Right, looks like he's got something going on. Well, that stinks. You got something going on with you, Mr. Oscar? Warren Beatty? You're going to make it so you can't go to the pet store. They're not going to want to take you if you're sick. I don't know. He's got like some like things like hanging off of him. Like he's a little bit fuzzy or something. He's got some fuzzies. I don't know. I don't know if they'll take him if he's sick. We might have to treat him first. See what's going on with him. When my husband gets home on Friday, I'll be like, look what's going on with Oscar. He'll probably be like, he can go ahead and die. He really does not care about him whatsoever. He either wants to put him somewhere else, like the store taking him, or he'll be, I've heard him say several times, I wish he would just die already. And I don't want him to I don't want him to get sick and die, but I don't know. My husband probably will not. I mean, he's probably going to have to get meds anyway because there are other fish in the tank. But I mean, Blue and Jack have been in this tank the longest, and fish have gotten sick in there before, and they just never get sick. They never get sick. And if Jack appears like he's starting to get sick, he gets over it before we even treat anything. It's interesting. They are tough fish. I don't know. Hopefully it'll clear up. Sometimes one of them starts to look like that and then it goes away. Who says what? He wishes he would just die already? My husband. He doesn't like him. That's why he's going to go to the pet store. He does not like him. In the winter, he was so frustrated and mad at him, and he wanted to throw him in the. You see what's hanging off of the top of him? Did you just yawn, Oscar? He was like, he wanted to throw him in the fish tank, or throw him in the fish tank. He wanted to throw him in the fish tank. He he wanted to throw him in the snowbank because he was pissed off at him. And he was pissed off at him last week too. Yeah, I want him to live too. I would personally keep him, but my husband doesn't want him. He wants him to be at the fish store or dead. So get over your little whatever you're going on with your fuzzies, and I'll bring you to the fish store. Oscar is a character, though. He does try to attack. He has bitten my husband. Um, with the last time the tank was getting cleaned, rather than attacking my husband's hand, he attacked the gravel vac. Which, did I say he attacked it? Oh my gosh, I need more coffee. He attacked the gravel vac. Your husband belongs at the fish store. Oh, he would gladly live. Like, he loves fish. He just said he'll never get another Oscar. This is our third Oscar, but he was like, I'm never getting another Oscar. Yep, he wanted to throw him in the snowbank. He was so angry. He was like, I'm just gonna scoop him out and throw him in the snowbank. I'm so fed up. damn fish. Well, last time he cleaned it, he gravel vacked. He was just finishing up, filling up the rest of the water, and Oscar shit all over it. And he does not have poop like other fish. This is heavy poop. It looks exactly like the food he eats, except mushy coming out. It's awful. And my husband just cleaned the tank, and that poop does not suck up in a gravel vac that easy. And he was like, really? We haven't even finished cleaning it, and he's crapping all in it again. He was done. You can throw in some general cure. Yeah, I'll have to. Although, see, like I said, my husband's not going to care. He's going to be like, he can die. But we need to make sure that the other fish are healthy. Uh, yes, he needs a diaper. It is. It's horrible the way an Oscar poops. I never noticed it before, and then I was like, wow, like it just comes out like mushy food. It's nothing like the other fish. Like you see all those stringy things floating around in there? I think that's coming off of Oscar. I wonder if we've got any meds in the under the tank. Let me check. All right. We had some meds, so put a little bit in there. Your screen's black, you don't see anything. Weird. Unfortunately, my husband's out of town. uh oh, there's Blue. Blue's very stripy today. Usually there are times that he's just like his stripes aren't very pronounced usually. You have a black. Let me see here. You have a black screen. Do the rest of you see? It's working on mine. When I pull up did you find a Oscar pooping video? Oh, I can see it on mine when I pull up YouTube. I don't know why yours is. Okay, so it's working for you now? Good, good. You found an Oscar pooping video. I gotta look. It's it's terrible. And it's messy and I don't know. This one that I'm looking at is a different kind of poop than what ours does. Let's see. And all of these that our Oscar just it never dangles out of him. It just goes. I can't believe I'm talking about that, but it just comes out. It doesn't dangle from him. It's like he's got fishy diarrhea or something. It just I don't know. He's not constipated. Um, our Oscar supposedly, when we bought him, they said he was albino. Um, I guess he's like an orange albino or something. I don't know. But yeah, there are lemon Oscars, there are tiger Oscars, there are albino. What is all that stuff? Oh, Oscar. My husband's out of town until Friday. The tank is getting cleaned this weekend. He's got something by his eye. I see it. Something by his eye. Poor Oscar. I put some Pima Fix or Pima or however you say it, um, or something fix medicine in there when I went over there. So threw some of that in there. Some of us can only look east and west. Ah. And I'll let my husband know that something's going on the tank. If I tell him that Oscar's got some things going on, he's going to be like, okay. That's what I wondered if it's a slime coat, like peeling off or something. Oh, he actually didn't say, oh, it was Oscar. Who cares? He just went lovely. See, that's another reason to dislike Oscar for my husband. He's going to make the other fish sick. Hey, Rattletrap, how are you? It's funny that you're here now, Vanessa, because earlier I was talking about the snail and stuff. I was trying to figure out what fish I wanted to put in the tank with the snail. If I wanted to do goldfish, because that, no heater, but, yours don't have a heater already. Um, or if I wanted to do guppies, but then I'd have to put a heater in for the guppies, and that's yet another thing running on electricity. What do you think? Goldfish? I don't know. I wanted to get, because I had in that tank, I did have a lionhead goldfish and a black moor, and I would like to kind of do that again. But with the snail in there, although, like I said, yours are used to not having heated water, I don't know. I'm trying to decide what I want to do in that tank with the snail. Or just put the big snail and some other snails in there, like some mystery snails or whatever, with no fish at all. But I'd kind of like to have fish in there. Baby frogs? I don't know if I could keep frogs alive. I've seen that fuzzy look on our Jack before, and it's always gone away. I've even seen it go away on its own. Like, I've seen it on him, and before we could get meds or whatever, it would go away. I don't know. He had spring and sprung. I don't know if okay, aquatic frogs. Do the aquatic frogs, they don't need land, do they? They just, I guess it depends on the frog. Just if I was gonna put frogs in, I'd want to have like completely aquatic, where they don't need to get out on anything. But I don't know. I've never actually kept frogs. No, you don't have to put a heater in with the guppies. Huh. I'll have to think about this. See, that's when I think tropical fish, I think heaters. Like my betas have heaters. Our Oscar and Jack and Blue have heaters. Our other African cichlids have heaters. Like, we just have heaters. I mean, I know I can technically get away without the heaters for my betas. I had a beta for 2 years. When it was my very, very, very first beta. Granted, I kept him in a bowl that was way too small, but that was a mistake. And he didn't have filtration, but he also didn't have a heater, and he lived for 2 years. So I don't know. Aw. Yeah, probably a lot of people would say different. They'd be like, "Well, you're not allowing them to live their best lives," or whatever. But usually, I notice like when our 75 gets too cold, like if the heater isn't working, I notice like if we lose power, the fish tend to just sit on the bottom and they're not very active. Um, when the heater's not working. Um, and then once it's on again, then they get more active. So I don't know. If anything, That's what I've noticed, at least with this particular tank that we're looking at, is that they just get very inactive when they're not heated. Hey, Lacey. Lacey's probably the one to ask about frogs. I've been told to put frogs in my 20-gallon. Aquatic frogs. I don't know anything about frogs. Yep, I know she is. I know she's live. I've been in there. I've been in there. Yep. I'll have to look up frogs. I don't know if we've got any frogs at work, or aquatic ones. I'll have to ask. I know we've got frogs that, like, we do have a couple of frogs in the reptile area, which, even though they're amphibians, but I did notice them. They've got land, but they were sitting in their water dish. They were cute frogs, but I would want something that would be like, if I got frogs, I would want them to be totally aquatic. Hey, Rock G, how are you? I would just want to buy from where I work, and I don't know if they've got frogs besides the ones that I just mentioned. Yep. Yeah, you're right, Vanessa. You have that many tanks and you have no heaters in any of them, and you've got fish breeding, and they're very active. So I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I guess they just adapt. I'm glad you're doing better. If they are African dwarf frogs, I would do a 20 long or even a 10 to start, because they have to come to the top for air. The regular cloud frogs get huge, and I would start. Okay, because what? Then it wouldn't work. So I've got a 20-gallon, but it's not a 20 long, it's a 20 high. So that wouldn't work then. Because then that's even more space that they got to go up for air, unless I leave the water line lower. I don't know. You think heaters are over? So you don't use heaters either unless they're sick, Lacey? I just noticed when I had my snails, just a snail tank, that when I put in a heater that is preset to whatever they're preset at, I had very inactive snails. And then when I bought a heater where I can actually set the temperature and set it higher, it was like 85 to 90 degrees before they got busy. They were active, very active. But before that, they were just, I would be checking to see if they were alive. I'd be taking them out and sniffing them to see if they had a dead smell, because they just wouldn't do anything. 19 tanks, no heaters. I didn't know that. Well, I would figure that they would thrive at room temperature unless you're an Eskimo. Yeah. Well, that is good to know. I might see now. I've got these heaters for my betas. I mean, I guess I could just turn them off and just have the filtration. The warmer water speeds up their life cycle. Is that what you mean? Because they grow faster. We just have our tanks in like our living room area, but we've only got 5 going. But if I once I get my 20 high going with the snail and whatever else I put in there, then I'll have 6 tanks. But 4 of them being my responsibility because the 2 big tanks are my husband's responsibility and all the other ones are mine. Yeah, that's true. Temps do change in the wild. Be warm, die young. uh, I just liked seeing my snails move around, and they just really didn't move around unless the water was warmer. So in my 20 high, I'm trying to decide what to put in it with the snail I get from Vanessa. If I should put guppies in, if I should put goldfish in, and apparently frogs are out of the question because I don't have a 20 long, rather I have a 20 high. You probably could, Zach. You probably could. I would still keep the filtration. If you wanted to breed the betas, I imagine that you'd have to definitely have the heat. You want more tanks, Lacey? I imagine though that you do not clean them via bucket system. We do. Our 5 tanks are buckets. No heaters in the 2 ponds outside. Yeah, that's huh. And then you just take them in the winter. It's not bad. Easier for you to live in the ocean, Lacey. Yep. Lacey, is your pond outside heated? Or do you leave you probably don't because you're in a warmer climate anyway. You have a python. It's raining, so they're getting a water change. I would worry. Do they overflow? Like, are you worried about overflow when it rains too much? That would be my concern. My husband would like to do a saltwater eventually, but he said he'd have to get rid of one of these tanks. He'd have to turn one, like, get rid of some fish that we've got in one of the other tanks so he can turn it into a saltwater. He doesn't want to add an additional tank. He wants to, if he does a saltwater, he would replace it from, what we've already got. Yeah, you can always test it out, Zach. You can start out your beta without the heater, and if you feel like he needs it, then you can use it. When I had my very, very first beta, yes, I kept him in a bowl. So that was boo on me because it wasn't very big. But my room, I was still living at home at my parents, and my bedroom was in the basement, and he did not have a heater. So he had cold water. His water was cold. And then I moved here to Indiana, and my first place when I first moved here was on the second floor of a house, and we did not have AC. We only had AC in one room. It was hot up there. He had nice warm water without a heater, and he did live for 2 years. So I guess it all depends. You have to overflow the pond weekly to cool it off. Wow, yeah, because I would worry about cooking my fish if the water gets too warm. I had two betas in those gallon vases with. I caught so much crap about it, so I upgraded them to tins, and they both died. I'm thinking of this. Huh. Well, and 1 gallon seems to be like when I had mine, it wasn't even in a gallon. Um, it was like this really small thing, small bowl. But when people are breeding, they have their babies in these gallon jars for however long it takes to sell them. So 1 gallon doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal. Yeah, tiny cups to 10 gallons, they're like, holy crap. I mean, I hate that they're in those tiny cups though, because it's hard to tell if they're healthy because you can't tell if they're active. They can't be like they can't move. I'm like, are they healthy? They all look half dead. They like the vases better. Huh. Yeah, I have a male in a 2 gallon that he's happy with, and then I have another male in a 5.5 gallon, which originally was divided and they were on either side, but then the divider shifted and they fought. So, and one of them nearly died. So I've separated them. So now the one has the 5.5 to himself, and then the one that nearly got killed is in the two. And then I did have 8 females in a 10 gallon. But now I'm down to 3. 4, except I had to pull one out because she was starting to fight with one of them, and I don't know why. She just all of a sudden they've been in the tank together for months and months and months and months and months, and all of a sudden she just wouldn't lay off. And my one beta that she was picking on, her fins are all tore up, so I pulled the other one out. So now there's only 3 in the 10 gallon, but that's true. I never would have thought of that. Rice paddies actually, when they say that in the wild they lived in rice paddies, the thing is that those places, those rice paddies, they may be shallow, but they're not small. They go on for miles. So in the wild, they're not in. There's a misconception that they live in puddles. Kind of a thing, like they think of a rice paddy as a puddle, but they actually go on for miles. So they may be fairly shallow, but they're not small. And yeah, you don't know how long they've been in those cups in the store. That's true. If you don't use your muscle, you lose it. You don't lose any fish if water runs out the front. You don't lose any fish that when the water drains out. Yeah, very little water flow, which is why I have sponge filters for my betas, and I have them turned down fairly low so that there's very little water movement. Hi. Really? Hi. Oscar doesn't seem to be letting whatever's going on with him get him down. Still moving. Still moving. Don't shove my phone on the floor. What do you think you're doing, Shadow? What do you think you're doing? Meow. Lisa said hi to you. She said hi to you. She's rubbing all over me. What's she doing? Huh? Giving me headbutts? So, a video of a fellow made the most amazing. I've seen some really beautiful beta setups. Some of them I feel like are like overkill, but I don't have that kind of money to make them that beautiful. My betas have silk plants and no substrate. Oh, I haven't seen that. Well, and Dee has her beta in like a vase looking thing, doesn't she? The one next to Casey's tank looks like a little like vase type deal. Hey Jenna, Lisa's off to the dog park. Have fun. Hey average girl. Hey foe. You must be finished your stream. I felt all torn. I was like, Nike's live, foe is live. I'm supposed to do a live. Nike's still live. Meow. Thank you, foe. Yeah, you can still go ahead and do your 10-gallon. Yeah, do your 10-gallon and see how he does. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. And you can even I would say if you're worried about him going from a small cup to a 10-gallon, don't put tons and tons of water in it to start. Um, Keep it low and add it gradually so he almost doesn't even notice the expanse of space growing. I don't know. It's just a thought. I did, Jenna. I said, hey. I said, hey, Jenna, hey. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I got the coffee burps. Get away from my hot Cheetos. I'm not eating them yet, but they're for later. Oh, you like my idea? I don't know. I've never actually done that myself, but it just kind of popped into my head. Especially when I every now and then I notice because with the heaters, with the heaters in the tanks, the water evaporates really fast. And then if I'm not on it to refill before I do water changes, the water line gets really low. And I'm like, oh, I need to pay closer attention because the heaters evaporate the water very fast. And if I wait to do anything about it until I do a water change, then their water line really shrinks. Maple Street Aquatics, hello. That is Vanessa's other half, guys. Maple Street Aquatics, MSA. I think my husband would look at me like I grew two heads if I told him to pull the heaters out of the tanks. There has really not been a lot of people in here to do a panel, Jenna, so it's just been like this. Nice and relaxed. Watching Oscar. Threw some meds in there because he's got something going on. Which my husband won't care about, if he's got something going on. He just doesn't want it to spread to the others. But like I said, normally, I mean, we had a sickness spread through the entire tank and kill off everybody except our Jack Dempsey and Blue, and they're still in there, and they just seem to never get sick. And if they act like they're starting to get sick, it always resolves on its own. It's odd. They're tough fish. My husband really couldn't care less if something happened to Oscar. That's why we're getting rid of him. That's why he's going to the store. But if he dies first, my husband will not be heartbroken, which I find sad because I like Oscar. Yeah, they're super fish. In the winter, my husband threatened to throw him in a snowbank. He hasn't threatened to like throw him out in the heat or anything. Fry him up every now and then is like we could fillet him and fry him up. Blech. Yeah, I do too. I love when it looks like when he's looking at you like he's hatching a plan to kill you. Yeah, Oscars are bullies. He is. He's been a bully with our Jack, and that's one of the reasons why my husband doesn't like him because he picks on Jack a lot. But also because of how messy he is with his poop. And he has attacked my husband. He hasn't bitten him in a while. He hasn't tried to bite him in a while. But last time he did a water change, he did attack the gravel vac. He's lucky it wasn't my husband's hand. Yeah, in reality, he's waiting for treats. Either that or he's hatching a plan for world domination. He has he has become airborne a couple of times. He'll leave the surface of that water, and I've actually heard him hit. He knocked down the light actually because it's kind of like sits on the top, and he knocked it off because he hit the top of the tank and like knocked the light off balance. I was like, holy crap, he's gonna end up hurting himself. And he splashed me too. I was standing near the tank and he left the surface and he splashed and I got wet. There, my little blue. Sporting his stripes today. There are other times where his body is a lot darker and what are you doing, Blue? And his stripes aren't as noticeable, but they're nice and bright. He's got wearing his stripes really brightly today. He doesn't realize the whole world isn't made of water. Yep. Well, and our African cichlids figured that out too because one of them, I don't think we have the particular one anymore. I think he died, but I was feeding them and they get so excited about being fed. I was feeding them and one of them got so excited he jumped out of the water and we have a cover on the top, but near the back where the filters are, there's a space. And that's where he happened to be and he jumped out of the water and he landed on the floor, which is it's a good 5 foot drop because the tank is on a stand. We had carpet at the time at least, but he landed on the floor and I was in a panic because we've got cats. I was like, I need to get him off the floor and into the tank before a cat notices him. He was flopping around. That was probably a shock. Jump out and 5 feet drop to the floor. At least it was carpeted. And I had to rush to get him picked up and put back in the tank. He got so excited to eat, the poor little deer. I was like, oh. What you doing, Oscar? Are you planning your escape? Planning how you're gonna murder me tonight? So what's everybody up to today? I gotta work. I got tomorrow off though. I gotta work tonight. Yippee. Watching Wendy Williams talk about Kanye. Kanye is a weird dude. Yes. I would like to play some Conan too. Oh, I'll have to log in and see if because I had a really bad lag yesterday. I was trying to see if I could stream it. And I had a really super bad lag where I was trying to kill a boar and I nearly got killed because I didn't even get a chance to attack it because I had such a bad lag. So I was like, run for your life. Ness has a few good fish on the floor stories. We've been down that road. Oh, I just felt bad. I was like, oh, he's so excited to eat that he nearly killed himself. Poor little guy. And then I've had fish just completely disappear on me. They hadn't jumped out. I didn't see fish anywhere. No one jumped out, and I didn't see any dead bodies inside. Like they were completely poof, gone. I don't know. I don't know where they went. No remains, nothing. Just happened with a couple of fish. Just poof. And I, to this day, do not know what happened to them. One of them was a celestial pearl danio. Just poof, gone one day. Someone was saying, did he jump out? And I'm looking all over the place. No, there's no little body anywhere. And there was no remains inside. Like, gone, just gone. Like, seriously vanished into thin air. And then one of my betas, one of my females in my sorority, poof, gone. No body, no remains in the tank, nothing. Nada. Just not there. I don't know. I looked all over the place. Nothing. I don't know where they went. I've never had that happen before. Even when a fish dies in our African cichlid tank, we don't really notice that anybody's died necessarily until we see remains. And half the time, the other fish are eating him. So it's hard to tell who it was that died because by then they're unrecognizable and there's only half of a fish or, whatever. But there's some sort of remains. But that celestial pearl danio that I had and my one female beta just poof gone, no trace, like they've never been there. I have no idea. Hey Susan, where'd all the fish go? They're all off camera. Oscar's way on the right side off camera. Jack's on the way right side. Or wait. Oscar's on the right side off camera, Jack's on the left side off camera, and Blue is probably in that head. Oh, we've just been talking fish experiences. I was trying to move Lily Angelfish to another tank and she jumped and hit the floor. Oh no! I freaked out and climbed back beside the tanks and got her, but she's still. That's good. Oh, that would freak me out. That would freak me out. It freaked me out when the one fish did that. And I didn't want to pick him up with my bare hands either because I didn't want to be bitten or something. I'm like, they may eat vegetation and stuff. They love their algae and strips and things like that. Their seaweed, but they do eat each other when they're dead. So there's some carnivorousness in there too. Uh, so I was like, I grabbed something else to pick him up with because I didn't want to get hurt. Like, don't attack me! I'm trying to save you. My Lily guinea pig is rehomed. She is at my coworkers now and apparently doing very well. She is getting along. She wasn't sure what to think of these new. He has two other female guinea pigs, and he put them in the playpen with her. And she didn't know what to think of them at first. They were trying to sniff her, and she was nipping at their noses. But then he said all of a sudden they just let loose and started talking to each other and having a grand old time. They're doing well. She seems really happy. They're sleeping next to each other. So I think she's gonna do very well there, and he's really happy to have her. He loves her. I miss her squeaking though. I miss the guinea pig sounds. I miss it. I bet they do, Susan. Miss my Lily girl. But I'm glad she's happy. He's going to take really good care of her, and at least I could get updates on how she's doing. He was texting me last night, letting me know how she was doing. Hey, hey, Susan. Ow. I am having a pretty good day. Pretty good day. I left the camera on the rats all night. I wanted to do an all night what do rats do when you're sleeping kind of a thing. I'll have to watch it because obviously I was sleeping. But I did notice that they finished off their food and their water bottles were nearly empty. So I did all that this morning. I refilled their food. I gave them fresh water, and they're doing all good. They're doing all good. Yeah, everybody at a couple of coworkers were like, "Oh, she's so cute," and a customer saw me carry her in, and then I had her in the back, and then one of my coworkers came in the back and was like, "The customer would like to see the guinea pig." We're like, "Really? Seriously?" So we just let them pet her and that kind of thing. But she went home. She's going home, or at the time, going home with my coworker, not with a customer, because I knew that he was going to take good care of her. He's got the same enclosure that I've got. And he's actually going to buy my enclosure off of me because it can be attached to what he's got. You can make them bigger. So he's buying mine off of me and attaching it so that they'll have an even bigger space, which is awesome. And he feeds them good food. I asked what he feeds, and he told me, and he feeds one of the best foods that you can get. He doesn't give them crap food. I'm just they get their veggies and things like that. I'm just happy that she's going to be in a good place and that she's enjoying her new little friends. But I miss her noises. I miss guinea pig noises. It's so weird to go from I had 5 guinea pigs down to none. But I've got my little rat. Maybe without the guinea pig enclosure now, I could get a rat enclosure and get myself another rat. Although my husband would be like, no, no. But right now, my rat is in Ian's cage with his rats. She's doing well in there, but if I were to take her out and put her separate, because once they're all full grown, that's going to be a tighter fit. Once they're all full grown, she'll probably have to come out, but then she'll be alone. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yep, big orange fish. That's my Oscar. Oscar. Oscar the Grouch. Now I want to look up aquatic frogs. You guys got me thinking about frogs. African dwarf frog. The fish is saying, hey, hey, hey. Hello, Sandra. She's kind of chilling this stream. We have some conversation and then there's a lull and we're just quiet. But it's all good. It's all good. We've got Nike quiet in the background. I've gotten the I've got the kitten locked in the kennel while I have the door open to let the dogs out. He is not happy. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Hmm. All right, talk with you later, Maple Street. Have a good day. Had to get the charger. He's feeding the fish. That's important. Yeah. Oscar's hiding. Hello. Oscar, we can still see you. We can still see you. I'm gonna move the camera over a little bit so we can at least look at Jack, because I think Blue is in the head. There we go. That probably works a little bit. right, now we can see Jack. The life of a fish, right? Sit there and relax, get fed, get your water changed for you, crap all over the tank without a care. That's Jack's corner. He likes that corner. He's in it a lot. Mostly to stay away from Oscar. There he is. There's my boy. He's at least 5 years old. We've had him for as long as we've had the tank, pretty much. I think I'm going to skedaddle for now. I'll just go ahead and end the stream. Either that or, I mean, I can go put it on the rats or something. But I need to do some things. I need to get the guinea pig enclosure all squared away so I can bring that with me to work. Um, I need to clean the rabbit's litter box. Um, I need to do a few things. So I need to do a few things. I mean, I can always come back later and start another stream, but I do need to do a few things. So I'm gonna go and do that, and then maybe I will be back. I could do a rat cam. I really enjoy watching the rats. I really do. I don't know about anybody else, but I personally really enjoy. I mean, I like watching the fish too, but I do like watching the rats and watching their little antics when nobody's there, when they think nobody's watching them. So I am gonna go and get my stuff done, and I will talk with you guys. Yeah, that's not a problem, average girl. Not a problem. I gotta get some things done myself. So I will talk with you guys later, and I hope y'all have a good day. Bye.